Now then, it's the winter solstice 2020. So the days are going to get longer from now on, but there's still plenty of workshop time before we have to get out and do veg plot and stuff like that. But you know, 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time, there'll be sowing of leek seeds and stuff like that in the glass house. Anyway, this is a treadle jigsaw, and I've had it for a long time. So I've just dragged it out for a project. I also dragged out my old school bag with a load of templates in it. So I used to do a lot of these jigsaws at one time, at craft fairs and stuff like that, weekends and festivals. Anyway, just basic function is, there's the treadle, and that's connected to a rod which is connected to that pulley flywheel. Quite nice, isn't it? And then there's a round leather sewing machine belt which goes up to that shaft with the red flywheel on it, and the other end of that there is a crank pin with that wooden rod there that goes to the frame that holds the jigsaw. The jigsaw is, as you can see, just there, and that's one clamping wing nut, and there's one down there. And then over this end there's a tensioning rod. So there you go, that whole black frame goes up and down rapidly because of the gearing between that pulley there and the little pulley on that shaft. So there you go, treadle away and you cut a jigsaw. And I'm using some beech face plywood. I got a whole stock of this long time ago, and there's still 1 or 2 bits left. So beech face plywood, fairly thin, 6mm, 5mm, something like that, and it's the same colour both sides. That'll make it interesting. So let's just crack on. Okay, I've roughed that out a bit and I've changed the blade. Now bear with me because I'm just going on very ancient memory. I do remember that I had to have everything on a carpet or else this would slide away from me, and I think the carpet's just tensioning itself up. Uncle Harold used to have one of these. In fact, in the house I'm reminded that we got one of the jigsaws that he made, and it was a picture, and he cut it out not on this very machine but on something very similar. This is also called a hobby saw, and he must have done that when he was, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something like that. And he went when he was 92, about 5 years ago. I sit there for hours doing these. I think I'm just going to get a bit of oil and oil some things up. So I was obviously a lot fitter in those days. Oh, that's a bit better. Right, you can see it's improving now. Now the oil's getting in those little bushes and everything. So I'm just going to go back and do that corner there. Right, and then there's the foot there to do. This belt is a little bit loose. Okay, I'm going to crack on with this for another 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. Let's just zoom out a bit, and then I'll get back to you when I've got the whole shape done and I'm starting to cut it out. Right, we're nearly there. I've tightened the belt, which means you've got to cut a piece out, undo a little steel staple, cut a piece out, only 1/4 of an inch, 3/8, drill a fresh hole in one end of this leather belt and then put a staple back in. But of course the staple has been there since 1982, so as I undid it, it snapped, so I got a piece of welding rod out, thin gas welding rod, and had to make a new staple. And it all takes time, but there you go. Where are we? Let's zoom out a bit. There we go. And the person who's going to get this, they'll get it in a little box. So the video is part of the present. There you go. Right, I'm going to cut this up into little bits. You get an idea of what the Treadle jigsaw is about. Now, as you noticed, it's behaving itself a lot better. I've oiled it up, I put a fresh blade in it, and I've tightened the belt. And lo and behold, it's cutting quite nicely. So I'm actually going to hand sand these edges first, and then I'll cut it up into a jigsaw. I'll show you the end product. See, that's a weird shape. You try and fit that somewhere, especially when that's sanded, and it's a bit tricky, put it like that. So that bit will want to come round and tie there. Okay, so let's right, this leg here will have to have a tongue there and a tongue there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now we want a tongue just in there somewhere. So I'm just going to get on with the rest. You get seen the principle. There's the finished article. It will go in the box in pieces with no picture, and it's the same colour both sides. That's enough to keep you entertained for a while. I've just put it together, but then I made it, but some bits are a bit tricky. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It takes me back to when I used to do this quite a lot at all the craft fairs and stuff like that. Highly entertaining. Catch up with you soon. Cheers for now.